My daughter mistakenly accused my brother of assault, so I physically assaulted him and called the cops on him. It's been 3 years, and he is still holding a grudge against my daughter, refusing to reconcile or talk to her. Now he refuses to attend my daughter's 16th birthday party, breaking my daughter's heart. I don't know where else to turn anymore. It's been years, but the weight of everything hasn't lifted, not for me, not for my daughter, and certainly not for my brother. I thought time might heal us, but here we are, and the rift feels as deep as ever. I've tried. Believe me, I have. But I don't think I can fix this alone. 3 years ago, my family was ripped apart in a way I never saw coming. My daughter Lily, who was 13 at the time, accused my brother Jake of saying her. When she told me, it felt like my world stopped. She came into my room late one night, crying so hard I could barely understand her at first. When she finally got the words out, I remember feeling this rush of anger, fear, and a fierce need to protect her. You hear about these things happening in other families, but when it's your child saying those words, you don't think logically. You just react. And I did. I confronted Jake the very next day. We were at a family barbecue of all places, and I dragged him into the kitchen. I was shaking so hard, I could barely get the words out. He looked at me like I was speaking a foreign language, and when I told him what Lily said, he froze. I still remember the exact look on his face: shock, confusion, then hurt. He said, "You don't actually believe this, do you?" But I did. In that moment, I believed every word Lily had said. My daughter wouldn't lie about something so serious, would she? I slapped him. I didn't even think about it, I just did it. I told him to leave, to get out of our house, and never come near Lily again. My parents were in the other room, and came running in, confused and panicked. But I didn't care about their questions. I told Jake I was calling the cops, and I did. I can't describe what those weeks were like after the police got involved. My parents were heartbroken, trying to wrap their heads around the idea that their son could have done something so horrible, while Jake swore up and down that he was innocent. The rest of the family didn't know what to believe. And me. I was just trying to hold myself together for Lily. She seemed so fragile, so scared. And I thought I was doing the right thing by standing by her. But then everything started to fall apart. The investigation dragged on, and there was no evidence, nothing to support Lily's claim. Jake had an alibi for the day she claimed it happened. And even though I wanted to believe her, little cracks started to show. One night, about 6 months after it all began, Lily came to me sobbing. She couldn't even look me in the eye at first. Then she said, "Mom, I lied." I didn't understand at first. I thought she meant she was confused, or that maybe she'd exaggerated something. But she kept going. She said Jake didn't do anything to her, that it was all made up. She'd been angry at him after a family fight. They'd argued about her attitude, I think, and her new friends, these older girls she'd been hanging out with, told her to get back at him by saying something that would ruin him. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I wanted to scream at her, to demand why she would do something like this, but she was hysterical. She said she didn't think it would go this far, that she didn't realize how much damage it would cause. I didn't know whether to hold her or push her away. The police closed the case after that. Jake was officially cleared, but the damage was already done. He lost his job during the investigation. His boss didn't outright fire him, but they suggested he resign. His reputation was in tatters. People talked, and no matter what the truth was, the stink of those accusations lingered. Jake didn't yell or scream when the truth came out. I think part of me wanted him to unload all the anger and betrayal I knew he felt. Instead, he just looked at me, his face so calm it was terrifying, and said, "You believed her. Without even talking to me, you believed her." Then he walked out. Since then, it's like he's disappeared into a shell. He moved to a new apartment across town, and barely speaks to anyone in the family. He won't talk to Lily at all, and every time I try to call him, he reminds me that he's recording the conversation. I get it, I don't blame him for not trusting me anymore. But it still hurts. Lily has been struggling too. She lost her friends after everything came out. Kids at school bullied her for being a liar. She's been in therapy ever since, and while she's made progress, the guilt eats at her. She was just a kid when it happened, a kid who made a horrible mistake under bad influences, but she's still paying for it. We all are. I thought time would soften Jake's heart, that he'd eventually come around. But 3 years later, he's as distant as ever, and I'm starting to lose hope. Lily's 16th birthday is coming up, and instead of being excited about the milestone, all she talks about is wanting to fix things with Jake. She says she doesn't care about the gifts or the party. She just wants her uncle back in her life. I can see the weight of it on her shoulders every day. It's like a shadow that follows her everywhere. She's always been a sensitive child, and I know what happened has changed her. She told me once that she has nightmares about the moment Jake found out the truth. That devastated look in his eyes. She's still haunted by the fact that her lie had such a profound impact on someone she loved. She asked me to help her write a letter to Jake. It wasn't an easy process. She was sobbing as she tried to find the words to apologize. In the end, she wrote about how much she missed him, how she regretted what she'd done, and how deeply sorry she was for the pain she caused. She wanted him to come to her birthday party so she could apologize in person. I wasn't sure if it was a good idea, but I also knew how much it meant to her. I decided to call Jake and explain how she felt. I thought if I could just get him to listen, he might soften a little. But the conversation didn't go the way I hoped. He was polite but distant, as always. It was clear from the start that he wasn't open to the idea. I tried to explain that Lily was just a child when it happened, that she had been under bad influences and didn't fully understand the gravity of her actions. I even told him about how much she struggled since then, losing friends, getting bullied at school, and battling guilt every single day. But he didn't seem moved. He reminded me of everything he had lost because of what happened. He said he still felt like people looked at him with suspicion, even though he'd been cleared of any wrongdoing. I could hear the pain in his voice, even though he was trying to keep it controlled. I didn't know how to respond because, in so many ways, he's right. I did stand by Lily through the whole ordeal, and in doing so, I didn't give him the benefit of the doubt. I reacted impulsively and believed the worst of him without even giving him a chance to defend himself. I've apologized for that countless times, but I know it doesn't undo the damage. After that call, I felt completely defeated. I had to tell Lily that her uncle wouldn't be coming to her party, and seeing the heartbreak on her face was almost too much to bear. She nodded and said she understood, but I could see the tears welling up in her eyes. She's been carrying this guilt for so long, and I know she's desperate to make things right. The rest of the family has tried to help, but it hasn't made much of a difference. My parents have pleaded with Jake to let go of the past and rebuild the relationship, but he's made it clear that he wants nothing to do with Lily or me, for that matter. He's polite when he speaks to them, but there's a distance there that wasn't there before. Some relatives think he's being too harsh, that it's unfair to hold a grudge against a teenage girl for a mistake she made under bad influences. But others say they understand why he's keeping his distance, that the hurt he experienced isn't something you can just brush off. I feel caught in the middle, torn between supporting my daughter and understanding my brother's need for boundaries. I've been trying to hold everything together, but it's exhausting. The guilt I feel for what happened is overwhelming at times. I acted out of love for my daughter, but in doing so, I destroyed my relationship with my brother. And now, watching Lily struggle with the fallout, it's hard not to wonder if I could have handled things differently. Lily says she'll keep trying to make amends, but I don't know if Jake will ever be ready to forgive her or me. I can't force him to let go of his pain, but it's heartbreaking to see how much this is affecting Lily. She was just a child when it happened, but she's not that same person anymore. She's grown so much in the past 3 years, and I wish Jake could see that. I know I can't fix this for her, but I wish I could. I wish I could go back to that day and handle everything differently. But all I can do now is hope that someday, somehow, Jake will find it in his heart to forgive her. TLDR, 3 years ago, my daughter falsely accused my brother of SA when she was 13. I reacted impulsively, believing her and cutting ties with my brother, only to find out later that the accusation was a lie. While my brother was cleared, the damage was done. He's distanced himself from the family and refuses to speak to my daughter or me. Now, as her 16th birthday approaches, my daughter is struggling with guilt and wants to apologize and reconcile, but my brother refuses to budge. I feel torn between supporting my daughter and understanding my brother's pain, and I don't know how to fix this. Comments. Comment 1. Wow, the audacity here is next level. You called the cops, slapped your brother, and essentially helped ruin his life without a shred of proof. But now you think he's being too harsh for not forgiving your little mistake. Are you serious? Being under bad influences doesn't excuse what your daughter did, and you playing the "she's just a child" card only makes you look worse. She wasn't too young to understand that accusing someone of SA would destroy their life. Jake is setting boundaries to protect himself, something you should have done for him instead of jumping to conclusions. Honestly, you're lucky he even takes your calls. Comment 2. Yes, the classic, it's time to forgive and forget routine, except the person who actually lost everything isn't the one asking for forgiveness. You're so concerned about Lily's guilt and feelings, but where was that concern for Jake when you dragged his name through the mud? You want him to forget the job he lost, the people who still look at him sideways, and the family that turned their back on him, all because a teenager threw a tantrum. Newsflash: Jake doesn't owe you or Lily closure. Maybe instead of pushing him to fix your daughter's mess, you should focus on teaching her that some things can't be undone with an apology and a birthday cake. Brother's response: my sister's post about me is full of half-truths. Here's what really happened. So, I've been lurking on this sub for a while, and what do I stumble across today? A post from my dear sister spilling her version of the story. The one where I'm apparently the villain for not bending over backwards to forgive her, and her little angel for accusing me of being a effing predator. Well, I guess it's my turn to clear the air, isn't it? To anyone reading this, I don't care if you think it's fake or not. This post isn't for validation or sympathy. It's for me, because I've spent the last 3 years eating SHT while they played the victim, and I'm done staying quiet. Let's lay it all out. 3 years ago, I got blindsided with one of the most disgusting accusations a person can face. My niece, Lily, who was 13 at the time, told my sister her mum that I sought her. I was completely floored. Do you know what it's like to have someone accuse you of something so vile? Tease like your whole life detonates in 1 second. Did my sister pause for a second to ask me what the F was going on? Nope. She came at me guns blazing, slapped me in front of our parents, screamed at me, called the cops, and basically torched my life in a single afternoon. I can still hear her yelling, "Get the F out," like I was some kind of monster. And let's not forget the months of hell that followed. The cops interrogated me, neighbors whispered, and friends ghosted me. People I thought had my back gave me the stink eye like I was some creep who belonged on a registry. I even lost my job because my boss didn't want the bad optics. Guess what? Even when you're cleared, the damage doesn't magically go away. Eventually, the truth came out. Lily admitted she lied. She made the whole thing up because we had a fight, and she was pissed off. Apparently, her SHTTY friends gave her the brilliant idea to get back at me by accusing me of being a pedophile. And do you know what I got from my sister when it all came out? A half-arsed apology and a bunch of excuses. She's just a child. She was under bad influences. You have to understand, I was scared for her. Bullshit. You don't get to destroy someone's life and then act like oopsie, my bad fixes everything. My sister didn't give a damn about my side of the story when it mattered. She went straight to DEFCON 1 without even talking to me. And now she's crying about how hard all of this has been for her and Lily. Cry me a effing river. Here's what she didn't mention. I lost everything. My job, gone. My reputation, shredded. People still look at me like a monster, even though I was proven innocent. There's no coming back from something like this. Even if the law clears you, people remember the accusation, not the truth. I had friends who cut me off without so much as a phone call. A girl I was dating dumped me because she needed time to think, and never came back. I had neighbors avoiding me, like I was some kind of plague. You don't recover from that kind of SHT, and I'm still picking up the pieces. My parents. Oh, they're a piece of work. Ever since the truth came out, they've been pushing me to move on and be the bigger person. They've told me countless times that Lily was just a kid, that she didn't understand what she was doing, and that I should forgive her because family is everything. They've even accused me of being cold for not coming to family gatherings. Are you effing kidding me? Where was all this energy when I was being treated like a criminal? Where was the concern for me when my life was going up in flames? Now I'm the bad guy because I won't sit down for a nice family dinner and pretend everything's fine. Screw that. Since my sister conveniently left some things out of her post, let me fill in the blanks. This wasn't some isolated incident of Lily acting out. She's been manipulative for years, and my sister has enabled it every step of the way. When Lily was younger, she'd throw these massive tantrums whenever she didn't get her way, and my sister would cave every single time. She never disciplined her, never taught her that actions have consequences. And this whole bad influences excuse. Please. Lily's been hanging around SHTTY kids for years because my sister couldn't be bothered to pay attention to who her daughter was spending time with. She's always been more focused on being the cool mom than actually, parenting. But sure, let's act like Lily is the victim here. Let's ignore the fact that she ruined someone's life and walked away with nothing more than a slap on the wrist. Let me be crystal clear. I'm done with both of them. I don't care how sorry Lily is or how much therapy she's been to. Some things can't be undone with an apology. I've set my boundaries, and I'm sticking to them. I don't want her letters. I don't want her apologies. And I sure as hell don't want to sit across from her at a birthday party like nothing happened. To my sister, stop trying to guilt trip me into fixing this for you. To anyone who thinks I'm being too harsh, walk a mile in my shoes, lose your job, your friends, and your peace of mind because someone lied about you. And then tell me how forgiving you feel.